Andrew McGlashan.
Thanks, Cole. Hey, Usman. I know you've been asked this a lot over the last 3 or 4 months, but if someone had sort of said to you, this is how things would play out for you maybe 6 months ago, what would you have said to them, both the runs on the field, the success as the team, and now obviously a central contract for yourself?
Yeah, look, I would have said it sounds like a good story. It was, I guess, where I was at, 6 months ago. I was really enjoying my cricket. I was playing with Queensland. I was playing well. Look, I felt like I was still close to the Australian cricket team. I had a few conversations with George Bailey and whatnot, but how that's going to go is very dependent on all factors, whether I score runs, timing, situation. I obviously got into the squad, but couldn't crack the team at the start. So I was really content. I was really enjoying my cricket, and everything else was a bonus. I've said that before too, I know, but it's true. And look, it's been an awesome ride so far. I've really enjoyed it. The fact that I can represent Australia again obviously means a lot. But at the end of the day, the most important thing for me is that I'm still enjoying my cricket. So I'm enjoying it at the moment. And yeah, the ride's been pretty good. But yeah, if you told me that 6 months ago, I definitely wouldn't have believed you. But life in cricket's a funny thing sometimes.
If I can just throw forward a bit to what will be your next challenge, the tour of Sri Lanka, having experienced the conditions now in Pakistan, and with a bit of knowledge of what it is like or can be like in Sri Lanka, how do you foresee that challenge compared to the one you've just had both individually and as a team?
Yeah, Sri Lanka is always a challenge. I've been there twice. We won the first tour and lost the second tour. So yeah, look, Sri Lankans are very good at their own home, like most countries are. I think the wickets will be slightly more sporting. They have been in the past, especially if there's 2 matches in Galle. They're traditionally very spin-friendly wickets, right from the first session. The first time I played there, which was over 10 years ago, I think the spinner came on the 7th over. So, yeah, then the wickets over there aren't as, sporting towards batsmen. So that they're the same for both teams. So it doesn't really change. It'll be another challenge for us. Our record on the subcontinent over the last 10 years hasn't been great. As obviously winning Pakistan was our first victory for a long time in the subcontinent, but we've got a very well-balanced team. I've been around Australian cricket a long time. I wouldn't say this if I didn't believe it. I think we've got one of the most balanced teams we have, especially in terms of when you talk about playing spin in the subcontinent. I think this is one of the better teams one of the better Australian teams we've had for those conditions.
Cheers, Aussie. Thanks, mate.
Scott Bailey.
Hey, Aussie, congrats. Mate, just interested, I guess, in how you reflect on, I guess, the technical changes to which you'll go to Sri Lanka with, say, last time you were there, and just generally speaking, how you've changed your game to play on the subcontinent and to play against spinners on those kind of wickets.
No, look, it's just about experience. Obviously getting a lot better at certain things, having options against spinners, having lots of different ways to manipulate the field, score runs where I want to score runs. There's a bit of risk involved in there when you play subcontinent. You have to be willing to take some calculated risks. All these come with experience. I guess it's really hard when you're young. It can be a tough tour when you go over to the subcontinent when you're young, but I've been there for A series. I've been there for Test series, one-day series, T20 series. So throughout that, you kind of learn bits and pieces more and more and more and more. So everyone's slightly different about the way they go and how they do things. But I think we have, as an Australian group, we have a lot more understanding now than we ever have about how we think we can be successful in the subcontinent, particularly in terms of batting, but also bowling. Gone are the days. My first Indian tour, I reckon we had 3 quicks and 1 spinner and an all-rounder pace bowler. Like, I just don't think we knew how to play well enough in the subcontinent, particularly in those wickets that we were getting. I remember looking at the other team, that Indian tour, and they had 3 spinners and maybe 1 or 2 quicks. I think they sort of had an idea what they were trying to do. So it was all about learnings for us. I think we have learned a lot. So hopefully they'll keep us in good stead for Sri Lanka.
Was there a moment, like when I look at your batting, like you talk about like sort of trying to access more areas of the field and whatnot and try and manipulate the field and the bowlers a bit more, was there like almost a light bulb moment in one of those tours? Was it like Sri Lanka 2016, Bangladesh 18 or 17, whatever year that was, like where you sort of walked away and went, okay, I need to think about my approach to batting, my philosophy to batting when against spinners on the subcontinent?
Yeah, well, I think I came back from England 2013 and really worked hard from then. on my spin game, and my spin game from then onwards, was, I think, improved massively. Even in Australia, I got really confident, and I found a lot of run scoring options against spinners, and my sort of the amount of runs I scored after that, particularly in Australia, was because of that. But then going over the subcontinent, the wickets are slightly different. They actually spin a bit more off the straight. I guess every single tour that I went, you always try stuff, you do stuff. Sometimes you score runs, sometimes you don't. It didn't help that, I kept getting in and out of the team. I think the first time we went back after I came back in team 2015, I had a really good summer. I think that might have been in the summer that I got a couple of hundreds, against South Africa and whatnot. And I was playing really good cricket. And then I went over subcontinent and I got dropped for the first game. That kind of stuff, is frustrating. It's tough to come back from because you're in and out of the team. But fortunately, in between there, I got to go on some A tours, got to do some stuff and actually just play the way I wanted to on those tours, without the spotlight of, test match cricket. So I think that all helped, but there's a lot of work behind the scenes. There's a lot of watching cricket, a lot of seeing what works for me. I just can't put it into one single moment.
Thanks, mate.
Marty Smith.
Thanks, Cole. Hi, Usman. Congratulations. Just sort of a similar line of thinking in regards to playing on those real spinning pitches in Sri Lanka. Just in terms of your teammate Mitch Swepson, obviously what you saw in Pakistan, but how prepared do you think he is for playing in really spinning conditions that he probably hasn't really confronted before? If we get the pitches in Galle that you've had before, do you reckon he's got the skills, and what does he have to change, I guess, in his bowling to really thrive in those conditions?
No, at the end of the day, it's all about the learning, and Mitch Swepson, I know, is a very good learner. I've seen the way he's improved over the last 5 years. You can't be a good learner. You can't improve like that and not be a good learner. So test match cricket is, it's all about having that experience, getting that confidence, playing more test cricket. It's very hard to come straight into test cricket and just dominate straight away. Barely any players have really done that. So for Mitch, it's, he's got the fundamentals. He's got a beautiful leg spinner, modern day leggy, bowls a bit faster. Which is really important in those conditions. His accuracy is as good as I've ever seen with any leggy that I've played with or against. He's a once in a generation type of leg spinner. So I'm sure he'll figure it out. The more he'll play, the better he'll get, the more confidence he'll get. It'd be really interesting what the wicket's like. The wicket's like the old Gauls. You could potentially play three spinners there. You just don't know. You're gonna have to obviously see that when we get there, but I do believe that Mitch Swepson's got a big career in international cricket, just from obviously seeing him day in, day out at Queensland, standing in first slip. I know what a class bowler he is. So sometimes these things take a little bit of time. Look, he was really unlucky in Pakistan. He had a lot of chances that they went down, a few 50-50 calls that went against him, and if that goes the other way, that could just open the floodgates. So I think he's very close to something really special.
Just one on yourself. You obviously weren't part of the white ball squad in Pakistan. Have you had conversations with selectors about potentially coming back? You've played World Cups in both formats before. Do you feel that you're still in the frame for limited overs cricket, or that you're more looked at as just a test player these days?
Look, I haven't bothered asking, to be honest. The last time I got dropped from the white ball squad, I was averaging over 50, and I think I was the second or third highest run scorer in that calendar year for white ball cricket. So after that happened, I pretty much just stopped giving a crap about it, to be honest. If they want to pick me, they can pick me. If they don't, I'm not really, my head's not really there. So I love playing for Australia. I'm always ready to play whatever, but I guess from the past and seeing what happened in the past, in white ball cricket, it's pretty disappointing. So I'm just really just enjoying it. I'm still very fortunate and lucky. I get to play test cricket and I get to play cricket for Queensland back home. So at the moment, I just focus on what's ahead of me, what's in front of me, and what I actually have. And if any of the other stuff comes up, I love to do it, love to play it. But I guess I sort of just don't really think about anything that I don't have right in front of me there and now.
Thank you, mate. Well done.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. I think we've got one last one here from Ethan Lee Chalk from the Inner Sanctum.
Hi, Uzi. You've batted in many positions and you're now an opener. Have you settled into that position, or do you see yourself moving again?
For Australia, probably not. No. There's the other positions are fairly secure. Things are going well, and I enjoy opening. There's nothing wrong with it. I enjoy batting everywhere. I've batted everywhere, so I think it's a good question. But no, I don't really see anything changing too much. If I'm being totally honest and frank, the batting at the moment, the balance is the team seems like it's in a pretty good spot. Hopefully, if we keep winning games, I think there's a lot of potential in the batting group at the moment.
We saw you bowl against Pakistan. Is that something we can see more of in the future? Can we classify you as an all-rounder now?
Well, technically, I'm a test bowler, so whatever you want, but no one can take that away from me. I used to give Schwepson I used to give Schwepson crap about it all the time, about being, he hadn't debuted for Australia yet. I used to go, if you want tips from a test spinner, mate, just let me know. So I don't have that anymore. He's a test spinner now, so I'm gonna have to find someone else to pick on.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Cheers.
Nice answer. Good way to finish off, guys. Thanks again to everyone, and thanks again to Usman Khawaja for joining us on his leave. We'll catch up with all of you guys again shortly. Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers,
Thank you.
Cheers, Carl.
Thank you.